My name is McCauley. Can you believe we are actually, after 18 months, at praying off again? And you know why? Because if not now, when? If I was going to wait till everything was perfect, till there was no variant, till there was nothing going on, we wouldn't be here. Because I don't know about you, but I started this group in January of 2008, and 11 years went by, and it took a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic to stop praying off. 18 months have gone by, and you know, you're not going to believe this. There's actually people in this room that lost weight over the pandemic. I can't believe it! And you know what I say to them? God bless you. God bless you. There are other people, myself included. You take people who struggle with depression and anxiety. You take people who have spent a lifetime battling the bulge, and you sprinkle in some isolation. You sprinkle in, I might die because I'm obese, and everyone on the news that they show dying is fat. And I am like, it's like a catch-22. You know you shouldn't be doing it, but you're like, I don't have to weigh in this week, so I'm just going to have a couple of Michelob Ultras, and then next week, then I'm really going to get back in the saddle, and the next thing you know, it's 18 months later. So the thing is, today is a no judgment zone. It is a no judgment love fest where we say to each other, it's okay. It's okay. When we go to the pearly gates, Jesus is not going to say to us, I'm sorry, you're not at your goal weight. You can't come in. If you only weighed 168, Ellen, St. Peter would open the doors. But because you put on weight over that pandemic, you can't come. No, he's not going to do that. I want to thank everyone who decided to come. I did have people complain to Father Mano about being vaccinated. We made a decision. I made a decision to start this group again. Nobody said, Ellen, you're going to have to start it. Father Mano didn't. I said, the only time in my life I ever lost weight and kept it off was pray it off. And when I started in 2008, I weighed 371 pounds. And the good news is, I'm not 371. I gained weight, but it's not, I could have. Oh, in 18 months I could be 371 easy. So there was enough pray it off in me and enough Jesus helping me. But the thing is, I said, what can I safely do with this group? The vaccination's big. I'm going to ask you all not to come if you got a fever, if you feel like you have a cough and you're not feeling well, don't come. The old days of you had to have a damn good excuse, you do still, but I'm not going to run to your house and give you a COVID test. So, everyone came early tonight. It was a beautiful thing. Next week, the Vice President, raise your hand, Jean Ma, the Vice President will be weighing 20 people in over there, and she's over there going, really? No one told me. She will be weighing 20 people in, so the scale here, and there'll be 20 old-timers, not any of the new people. I'm going to ask you to come early again. I'm a hugger. You know what the pandemic has done to me? It's like Bob has benefited, though, because I'm hugging him maybe a million times a day. And speaking of Bob, for those of you who don't know the story, very quickly, in 2007, I went to Father Mano at 371 and said, I want to start a weight loss group, and God bless him, he didn't pass out. He didn't say, wait a minute, you want to start a weight loss group? He said, tell me about it. And I came up with the name Pray It Off. And we went to the church council, they said sure, and I came home and I said, Bob, Father, did I say Father Mano? Yeah. I meant Father Pryor, yeah. Father Pryor. And I said, Bob, Father Pryor said we could start Pray It Off, and I already have my first member. And he goes, you do? Who? And I said, you. So, Bob has been in the group since January of 2008. And so have several other people in this room. I have to say, my session 1 people, they have a special part in my heart because you've been with me this whole time. So next week, I'm going to ask you to start early, just like you did today. Everyone should have gotten a free pen because your taxpayer dollars paid for those pens. That is where I work. So if you need help with aging-related matters, you call me. Also, everyone has to fill out their form and hand it in. Even if you filled it out 10 years ago, I need it. Anyone who has their $5 one-time charge goes to Jean. And you know what's interesting too is on the back of the first sheet in tonight's packet is our food log. And for those of you, how many people, I won't call on you, I will not call on you, I just want you to be honest. How many people did a food log for the whole 18 months during the pandemic? Raise your hands nice and high. Oh my God. And I have to say, almost all of them, besides me, lost weight. But the thing is, I didn't gain as much as I could have because I wrote it all down. I am such a believer in the food log. But now it's mandatory. Now speaking of mandatory, people said to me tonight, no one told me I had to wear a mask. I asked Father Mano, even when you're in church, we don't have 6 feet separation at church, masks aren't mandatory yet. When the church, the diocese says masks are mandatory and we have a 6 feet separation, we'll work it out down here somehow. But in the meantime, you can wear a mask if you want to. I'm not making you. It's totally up to you. If you feel more comfortable, fantastic. So on the back of the, well, first of all, about the food log. For those of you who are new, you hand it in to me, and I look at it and write a few comments and hand it back to you the next week. As a friend, I am not a registered dietitian, but I work with them, and I've been doing this a long time. So if you have Whopper with fries 10 times on your food log, I might circle it in a red pen and go, wow, how about Whopper with fries maybe once a week? Something going on there? Nope. All right. So then, you know what else someone said? Our addiction, if you will, is evident. You know, you have too many Michelob Ultras. You notice I keep mentioning Michelob Ultras. You have too many cookies. You have too many ice creams. Whoa, it starts showing. But statistics have proven that during the pandemic, people who had quit smoking started smoking again. The drug addiction, oh my gosh, it was so bad. Suicide. I mean, our addiction, our food issue is evident to the world. And you know what I say? If God put us in a room and had us pick that cross that we would bear, isn't trying to struggle to lose weight a lot better than some of the other crosses we could have picked? And another thing, how many people here, and I'm not going to call on you, know someone who had COVID-19? I would say just about everyone. Now, again, I'm not going to call on you. How many people know someone who died from COVID-19? Wow. Wow. We have lived through not only COVID, we lived through climate change and floods and fires. It's been a tough 18 months. And that's another reason why I needed to start the group, because I felt like alcoholism has increased dramatically because they stopped AA meetings. They tried to have it virtual, but so many of the people who are addicted to alcohol couldn't do it, and they had to start it again because so many people were falling off the wagon. This is our wagon. I need this support group, and so many of you have said to me, I need it too, Ellen. And we will do it until we can't do it anymore. But I'm going to ask you to pray that we can continue to do it. You write down your exercise. You say, walk 20 minutes. Treadmill a half hour. You do not say no. For water, if you drink 8-ounce glasses a day. You put a check by the 8-ounce. And just to give you, this is 2 checks. 2 checks, okay? It's 16 ounces. So 4 of these a day. Get up and drink one. Have one at lunch, have one at dinner, have one later. I always say bring one with you to the meeting. Then one of the things also on the back of the food log is about shame. I don't know about you, but I'm a Eucharistic minister at church and I'm a lector at church. And when I stood up in front of the group of church at 7:30 Mass, I said, there's people out there going, Ellen's beefing up again. Ellen's ballooning up again. Boy, she better start doing that pray it off pretty soon because she's piling on the LBs. That's what my mind was doing. I have had so much shame and so much negative self-feelings about the weight I've gained over the pandemic. I went to a wedding on the 29th and I saw people I hadn't seen in a long time, and my son was there, and later on I said to him, did anyone say anything to you about how much weight I gained? And he goes, what? And he goes, people were saying, wow, it's so good to see your mother. She's so funny. She's so nice. No one said you were packing on the LBs, Mom. But that's what my mind says. Anybody else? Anybody with me on that? Yeah. Anyone feel that people are looking at you going, what? But here's what Jesus says. Jesus says, I love you no matter what. The shame and self-loathing isn't what he wants. When we ask God to take away our shame, he gives us back ourselves. Because guess what? My weight does not define who I am. It never has. Sometimes I think it does. Sometimes I think that my weight defines me, but it doesn't. Pray it off helps give me back myself. When I leave here at the end of the night, I feel more whole. I feel like we together as a group are fighting the same battle. We help ourselves by helping each other. And that is why the small group is so important. And I'm going to really ask you all to really take it very seriously this session and be honest. Everyone signed a confidential disclosure agreement tonight, and what that means is if someone says to you, I was so upset I even contemplated suicide, you don't tell anybody that. You give them love, you pray, and you say that's never an answer. God loves you. You share things that stay at that table, and if you don't feel comfortable sharing, don't. But I think it's a nice way. When Bob joined the group in 2008, he said, I'll come, but I won't talk. And now you can't shut him up, right, Bob? And here's something else about my Bob. Last Friday, he was being operated on at Community General, so he's not even a week past surgery. On Monday, whatever the heck, I'm losing track of my days. August 30th, he woke me up at 3 and he says, you're not going to work today. I go, yeah, I am. He goes, no, you're taking me to the ER. So we thought it was appendicitis. It turned out to be an 8-millimeter kidney stone. So he's on the mend, and we love him. We love him. Okay. So then there's the prayers. Everyone should have a notebook or bring one and save your pray it off prayer, and at the end of the meeting we will say the St. Pio intercession. There is a realistic goal. There is something here that you will write starting weight. Let's say it's 200. And a 13-week realistic goal, let's say minus 10. Because if you lose 10 pounds, good. But if you write down 50 and you only lose 10, you feel like a failure. So be realistic. Now on October 7th, there isn't a meeting because we haven't seen our grandkids in Virginia Beach in years. So we're going down to visit them for my daughter's 35th birthday. So prayers for that. And then on the 25th, there's no meeting because you'll be eating a very healthy Thanksgiving dinner. Okay? So I want everyone to hang on to that. Now, I want to talk briefly about the Pray It Off guidelines. Now, anyone who's been in the group before, and many of the people have, because we're still learning our lessons. And you know what's interesting? The people who lost weight, they're back too, because they get things out of the group that they need to keep the weight off. So they're here too. They're a card-carrying lifetime member. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. We start at 6, we stop at 7. Please come early. And I ask people not to talk when I talk, and I notice no one is, and I thank you for that. That's very professional and very nice. You have to wear a name tag, and you have to come. And I have my cell phone there. Don't try texting my home phone, because texts don't come over the landline. So if you can't come, you have to call me and tell me why, okay? So we're going to talk about no perfumes or colognes. Don't break into small group, don't break into private discussions when you are in your small group. And every week we're going to read the readings from the Bible that are in the next week's Mass. And I will give you a sheet, and it's right in there now, for 9/19. And you might say, 9/19? Well, that's because we're going to talk about it next week on the 16th for the readings on the 19th. And Table 1 is going to begin. Now, there's some new people out there going, what? I got to read the Bible? No one told me about that. Well, I kind of did, but in case you forgot. We talk about it for 5 minutes, how it relates to our weight loss journey. And many people, including myself, have gotten a lot out of it and really, really enjoy it a great deal. Okay. And then the next thing I wanted to chat about is the next video.